Good evening, fans, and welcome to Fredericton, New Brunswick at Bliss Carman Middle School. Quite a little bit of rain falling outside now. Should bring the fans in, I think, a little bit in here for some hot basketball action. Fredericton Freeze and the defending Legacy Cup champion Halifax Hornets in the third game of the day here in Fredericton of this opening weekend tournament. I'm Bill Gibson, joined by Fred Connors, coach of the Stu Tommies on the women's side. Fred, another dandy matchup here.
Well, thanks for welcoming me back, Bill. This has been a great day of basketball so far, and like you said, the floodgates have opened up here just from the skies, but from the doors, and you're seeing a lot of people roll in here now. I think we're going to be treated to a really good next game here.
I think we are too, and Fred, I will note one thing. If this is running on time today. Just hint, hint for some of your tournaments that the time slots aren't always kept.
Are you telling me to not call timeouts anymore, Bill?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying this one's running on time. They don't always at certainly high-level basketball. The time often extends beyond the window that's allowed for it. But right on time with this one for a 7 o'clock tip. Strong group of officials here, and Mr. Wilton Woodworth, who's doing his second game of the day, and Mr. Humphrey. I know you've had a lot of conversations with them over the years.
Yeah, some of them have been a little bit louder than other ones, and but they're three very, very good officials and three guys I consider friends, and it's nice to see them getting up and down the floor. And I hope Kyle doesn't pull a hammy here. That's 2 games in one day.
2 games.
It's not easy. He's getting up there.
2 games is tough. Both of these teams come in 1-1. Freeze have split with Port City. The Hornets beat Windsor and then lost to that strong Thunder team who we just saw here. Thanks right off the top to our sponsors, Dairy Farmers of Canada, Medavie, as well as Royale, who is proudly Atlantic Canadian. Starting lineups, first of the Hornets 5 is Tony Bianchini, Grosse Pointe, Nova Scotia, and CBU.
Starting number 11, Jalen Skier.
11 is Jalen Skier, another former Caper, coaches now at Armbray Academy for the Osprey.
Starting number 15, Jasmine Perron.
Jasmine Perront. Played with St. Mary's in Acadia, and also at Stu, I believe.
She did for 1 year. She was with us for 1 year, yeah.
23 is Jayla Verney, former Hurricane for Holland College. And 24 is Hannah Brown. Hannah Brown, one of the top U Sports and AUS players of all time.
Jayla Verney caused me many a sleepless night playing at Holland College, Bill.
Sure.
It was fantastic for them.
Starters here for the Freeze, Kylie Speedy, current UNB player. 9 is Robbie Daly, 98 career AUS games between SMU and Dow. Katie Butts, number 11, 6'2" post out of Ottawa, played for the UNB Reds. Katie McAfee is number 12. And Jennifer Enqua is number 34, another current Red. So we've seen Coach Daly go to, I think, 3 different starting lineups in 3 different games here.
Yeah, he's mixing it up, and this is a league where it's all about that final weekend of playoffs. So he's testing as many formulas as he can while he can.
Time now for O Canada. We'll be right back with tip-off. O Canada in and a great rendition. That's PA announcer Richard Jones' daughter. I forget her first name, Fred. Had it there last game and just sort of slipped my mind.
She sang that so well, she literally just sang a sign right off the wall.
Yeah, she did. She sang the sign right off the wall. I'm sure we had a close-up look there. The Freeze team, you can see them smile a little bit. That was the sign falling off the wall exactly when that happened. So we will have Brown and Enqua on the tip here. This is going to be a nice physical matchup.
This could be one heck of a battle here, Bill. This could be a very good game.
Enqua on the tip. Looks like Verney's going to control. Good hustle by Katie Butts. The ball to the Freeze. 4 seconds into this one, Kylie Speedy. 14 on the shot clock. A little box set here for the Freeze. Down screens from Butts and Enqua. Catch for McAfee. 7 to shoot. Speedy on the miss.
Nice job there by Butts putting that back up.
Yeah, Katie Butts has been really good for this Fredericton Freeze team. Both inside showed. She's got a little bit of a three-point shot as well, Fred, too. So
yeah, she's added some range to her game, and she had a really good year this year for UNB. They must be really excited to see how she's going to develop.
Jazz Peral scores there. Freeze in this one, missing Leah Bowers, so that will force McAfee and Kylie Speedy into some more point guard duties. There's Speedy trying the three. It doesn't go. Rebound is taken away. That's Skier to the front court looking for Perron again. Jayla Verney on the miss. Hannah Brown is crashing, but it's Katie Butts on the carom. The Freeze, it's really a collection of Ks. Katie Butts, Katie McAfee, Kylie Speedy. You're going to see a lot of their offense run through that group. Hannah Brown makes the three.
Hannah Brown had an incredible career at CBU.
Yeah,
she can definitely score the basketball.
AUS MVP, first team All-Canadian. CBU Female Athlete of the Year. Long list.
Well, it's a great battle on the glass there.
Verney controls that rebound. Bianchini to the front court. Bianchini off glass, rebound McAfee. Robbie Daly was out and running. She gets the catch and shoot, too strong. Into the hands of Skier. Skier on the move with the handoff, but the only one there is Robbie Daly. Little miscommunication there between Skier and I think Verney. Skier was looking for the dive. Verney did the slide out.
This Freeze team, I've seen them play 3 games now, and they're when they're hitting shots, they're very, very good. When they're missing shots, they struggle to score the ball. And I know that sounds simple, but they've got to find that other dimension. If they're not knocking down the three, how are they going to find some points?
Butts can't get that one to go. Crashing the glass is McAfee. It's a good catch there for Katie Butts.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to see a little bit more of is can they get her post presence to start to factor. She definitely has the ability around the rim to finish.
Sophia Widmeyer checks in number 13 for the Hornets.
Not sure what happened there, Bill. Looked like that might have been tipped, but officials didn't feel like it was.
And 25 is Janice King for the Hornets. Brown with a nice finish off glass. What a good scorer she is.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time stopping her if she's going to catch it that deep.
That's Eva Tumwine who's checked in. Robbie Daly can't get it to go. That rebound goes to Widmeyer. Widmeyer gallops to the front court. Brown from outside.
It's a good-looking shot. They're going to have to get out and close that out. I don't know if they know how good she shoots the ball. Nice hustle there by Tumwine.
There is Speedy.
That's a good look.
Oh, nice rebound, Katie Butts. A nice turnaround and finish.
Nice job there by Butts cleaning that up for Speedy. That's a shot she normally makes.
Widmeyer on the take. Strong drive. Oh, Skier is going to pick up the foul on the rebound. Good rebound by Eva Tumwine.
Halifax Hornets foul on number 11, Jaden Skier.
skier brought the Armbre Osprey into FHS for the Cotter Classic this year.
They put on quite a show,
They
too.
did put on quite a show, and it was fun to be at the scorer's table, and the role I had there doing a little PA work.
Yeah, very good coach.
Yeah, just to watch Jalen work on that sidelines.
Yeah.
Butts again on the boards and puts it back for 2. Katie Butts, 6 quick points. Ahead for Widmeyer. Widmeyer can't finish over Butts. Brown again bothered by Butts, and it's Butts on the boards.
It's a nice job of Brown to follow that up, but right now Butts is winning that battle, even though Brown made that early jumper and that deep post touch.
Soft touch from Eva Tumwine. Widmeyer. Good closeout by Tumwine. Brown through her hands on the outside for Franchetto.
Almost got the bank to go there. We're very excited up at FHS. Eva Tumwine is our new JV girls coach.
Oh, really?
Yes, she was just selected to take on that task about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, excellent. I hadn't heard that at all. Nice
Yeah.
put back there from Robbie Daly. Amazing how many of these, players are giving back in the coaching capacity and at a high level as well. I mean, JV coach at the high school to step into that, that's a big role. It's a big commitment and a lot of working with the youth for sure.
We were very excited that she decided to take that on, and she put her application in. It was pretty impressive, and I think I think this is just the start of her coaching career. I think she's going to be excellent, and we're very much looking forward to see what she's going to do with our JV program.
Yeah, I've been privileged to be at a few of the Freeze practices this year. Certainly the first tryout and a couple others. Allowed me a little insight that I don't usually get. And one thing I didn't realize watching Eva play that you see really in practice is how much of a leader that she is and how high her basketball IQ is.
Yeah, very smart.
Yeah, really smart. And I watched Eva through high school and through university, and one of those things that I didn't pick up just watching her in games, but just incredible, leadership and teaching the other players in practice, picking stuff up, really quickly. And of course, I think it helps that she played for Coach Daly at the high school level as well.
Yeah, and she's very vocal. She's not, she's not shy to make sure that her teammates are all on the same page, and that's the type of leadership that you need.
I think she'll be a great addition for. Right outside now, Speedy, big block by Sarah Gordon.
It's a good look by McAfee. These are shots that we've been seeing the Freeze knock down, so they're just a little bit off on some of these looks, but they're good looks for them.
The inside there is Gordon, too strong off glass. Andrea Wright fights for the rebound. Jaden Penny back outside. Cross for Tumwine.
That's a good look for
Yeah,
her.
she shoots the three as well. 13-7 Freeze here. We played just about 6 minutes in this one.
Well, Eva's had some big years scoring for UNB in her career, and nice to see her still playing and knocking down those shots.
Good to see Jaden Penny getting into this game as well. She had some good minutes in that second game against St. John. And they're just shooting over the top is Janice King. Tumwine trying the hot hand. Rebound off for King. Ahead for Widmeyer. Widmeyer gets some space, shoots it over Penny. Jaden's got some length.
It's an interesting matchup. You get two long guards there.
Andrea Wright, former D1 player at Bucknell, played pro.
And she's a pleasant surprise for the Freeze on their roster this year.
Yeah, she is, and she's just a lovely individual as well. Speedy
nice
with a
take.
nice move. Wow.
Oh, that's a great take to the basket. Nice feet, nice head and shoulder fake. Great job taking that ball to the rim by Kylie Speedy.
Oh, great replay there by the folks here at Aurora. They're here all weekend long. They can't make me look good. They might be able to make you look good. You got a little more to work with than I do. But certainly they make me sound good, and great production quality here from the group at Aurora. Big bonus having them along, and of course they allow me to be here courtside, just a couple feet from the court. Back far enough though, so my bald head, Fred, the little spot on top, I get really self-conscious seeing myself from above because I never get that angle. I don't realize just how much I'm losing up there to get that camera angle from the top.
They're very wise to keep the viewership out of seeing us down here, Bill.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a good look at Coach Ford. You've gone head-to-head with that man a few times in your coaching career.
Yeah, Mark and I have gone toe-to-toe for better part of a decade and a half now, and quality coach, runs an incredible program, but we've got quite a good friendship, and someone I enjoy talking to quite a bit, and just a real quality person, and it's nice to see him coaching here at this level and in this league.
Yeah, I had a quick conversation with him, before the game. He's, pleased to be here and enjoying coaching at this level. Says he enjoys seeing players have fun, and a fair bit of turnover on all these rosters this year. They are the defending champions, do have a core group back, but also some great new additions as well. You go down through a number of scratches here. A couple of his own, players from SVU, McNeil and Korovitz scratched. And their names, I'm sure, that will haunt you for a long time.
Little shivers went down my spine when you said those names, Bill. I'm not going to lie.
Scratches as well there. Michelle Chaikua, Eva Widmeyer, and Courtney Donaldson.
Good job there by Butts of challenging that shot without fouling.
For the freeze, as mentioned, it will be Leah Bowers is scratched. And of course, Allie McCarthy also scratched. Allie is heard between games from the McCarthy family. They've made it as far back as Ottawa, so they are headed east.
Yeah, they might make it by playoffs.
I think they'll be here for this week's game.
Are they going to be here tomorrow?
I think they'll be here for Thursday's game.
Thursday.
I think Allie will be in. They are officially in Ottawa.
That's a heck of a pickup to be able to bring in a quality player like that.
And, I know everyone here in Fredericton is excited to see Allie after being away for a couple years playing. And, even you count the quote-unquote senior COVID season of high school, she was away, and sort of what an incredible basketball resume New Brunswick Allie has. I think it's a 5-time provincial champion at the high school level, if you can imagine that, and that doesn't even count what would be the normal senior grade 12 year. How do you do that? How good do you have to be at a young age, to get to that many, championships and win?
Yeah, I remember. I think I'm remembering correctly. It was in her grade 8 year. She was in John Caldwell, and I think she had 21 rebounds.
Yeah, just
in the provincial final.
Just incredible. So we look forward to seeing Allie back. Safe travels, Allie and Paul, and enjoy your visit in Ottawa. Steal there by Butts. Butts is going to dribble into the front court. Goodman on the rebound, can't get the putback to go. Renee Goodman, she's athletic. She'll bring dogged defense to this Freeze team, as will Eve McDonald. Eve, don't believe played beyond the high school level, Fred, but certainly she is an outstanding athlete for Fredericton.
Well, I'm not going to lie, Bill. I may have recruited her when she was coming out of grade 12, but I couldn't draw her away from the allure of soccer.
Aha.
And she had a really incredible soccer career at UNB and an elite defender. When she played in high school, I actually watched her play many times, and not too often you can see a player just totally dominate a game on the defensive end of the floor, but there's many games where she had 2 or 4 points but controlled the game on the defensive end.
Butts too strong on that one. Rebound Perrault. Off for Jayla Verney. Freeze into a little zone here, Fred? Is that what I'm seeing?
Looks like a little 2-3 zone there, Bill. It's the first zone we've seen today.
Well, there's McDonald on the rebound. Robbie Daly ties the shoe. Now will join the offense. I thought she might have been holding her ankle there for a second.
Well, look, I've said that our squad next year is going to be so young, we're going to have to start the year off by tying her shoes. So maybe I'll get Robbie to come in and help us out with that.
I think the Velcro maybe. There's some, yeah.
Time to bring him back, yeah.
Butts on the board again, and again she's going to dribble. Katie Butts showing off the full bag of tricks here.
Oh, that's That's a load of trouble. If
Wow.
wow, if that becomes her consistent game, she's a load of trouble because you got to go play protect the paint with her. But here's another steal, Bill. She is active
Now
today.
numbers, nice pass out for Daly.
Yeah.
Butts on the rebound, put back for
Wow.
score too. I think that's 10 for Katie Butts.
Well, that's a whopper of a first quarter for her.
She looks relaxed playing for this Freeze team. Not that she didn't playing for UMB, but she looks like she's playing free.
Yeah, and that's what happens as you mature as a player, and you hear the professionals talk about it quite a bit, how the game slows down for them, and her skill set right now is allowing her to feel very comfortable, and she looks very confident the way she's playing right now.
Smart enough to pick up the ball there from Jalen Skier, who has very quick hands. Speedy on the drive, taken away by Perron, and foul called.
Oh, Dan Willen hopped on that one.
Yeah, they see there on the replay.
Not sure who he called that on. Called it on Parent. I thought it might have been on Skier with the body, but I think Dan thought she had a little bit of some arm on that take, so Kylie goes to the line for one more after making the first, and that's a 10-point game, Bill.
Yeah, Kylie, that's good. Quietly the Freeze opened up the gap here to 10.
Yeah.
We saw it earlier with Port City opening up the gap on the Thunder. The Thunder had a massive second quarter to come back in that one, so the Hornets will be looking for that one. Coach Forward, without talking to Dan Wilton, saying, hey, I'm not sure I agree with that call. He's a master at that, is Mark Forward. That's sort of going into the huddle just to make a subtle point with the officials.
I would hazard a guess that when we're playing St. Vincent, the referees wear earplugs between Mark and I.
Yeah,
if not, they should.
I could see that. Even from my perch, my usual perch there in the pit, way up high. I could certainly understand that. So at the end of the one, it's 21-10 for the Freeze, so it's an 11-point lead. Speedy converted there from the free throw line. Entertaining first quarter. I say Katie Butts really the big difference maker for Fredericton. Go through my papers here long enough, I will find the one I'm looking for. Chance to get in the sponsors. Dairy Farmers of Canada, sponsoring all the teams in the league this year. Haven't been able to say cowbell. I'm not sure if that's a promotion. Used to be New Brunswick teams with a cowbell ring when they made the three-pointer last year. It was a fun promotion to do. They're pleased to be involved. Medavie and Royale, who is proudly Canadian. Cushman Wakefield Realty, Sport for Life, Cox and Palmer, all key sponsors at the league level. And for the Freeze, Max Health, Domino's Pizza, TRL Solutions, Michael Carter Design, Valley Graphics, Greystone Brewing, Mum Life Creations, and Fran Harris Photography. Good to see Fran here.
We just got a compliment paid to us, Bill, that there's some people watching this game that are pretty happy with us compared to the officiating.
Aha!
So I don't know if that's a compliment to us or if that's a dig at the officials. I'm not sure, but
well, if I were the officials, I wouldn't think too highly of that.
I don't think we've set that high of a bar, Bill.
That's what I say. If I were the officials, I wouldn't think too highly of that.
Well, we talked about the game before this, about the road legs maybe being a factor in that first quarter, and then we saw the Thunder make a great run in the second. So let's see if the Hornets are able to do the same here.
McAfee uses the Enqua screen back for Jenny Enqua.
It's a nice kick out.
Bailey on the miss. Enqua gets up for the rebound. Rips it away for Katie Butts. Butts gets it away and through again. Butts over Leah Martin. Leah Martin, strong defender, 6'1". Bell Tiger for 5 years out of Cole Harbor.
Nice to see Butts knocking down these shots. She's really in the zone right now.
And just an incredible individual as well as Butts. I know I've said it, and of course I'm, as I mentioned, the insider a little bit with the Freeze this season. Getting to know some of these players is just amazing people, and of course, Katie Butts, the driving force behind the sneaker drive at UNB this year to collect some sneakers at the games for some of the young kids in need in the area. I think she officiates at a youth level as well. Not certain of that, but I'm pretty sure I've seen her name on the officials list.
Well, that's the thing, when you're a student athlete, people don't understand the time commitment, like to train, to practice, but also to give back to the community and do the things and put those initiatives forward that she's doing. And it takes a lot of a lot of character and commitment. So good on her for doing that.
Jenny Enqua with the miss there. It was a nice look inside. Beat the buzzer, just rimmed out on the shot. Verney on the drive. Enqua skies for that one. Boy, she get up in the air there, Fred.
I wish Verney would have missed those when she played against us, Bill.
So for Fredericton, McAfee, Daly, Enqua, Butts, and Speedy. That's a strong lineup for this Freeze team.
Well, the thing is that, I mean, other than Butts, as a team, they haven't really shot the ball that well. So, to hold a 13-point lead at this point, the Hornets must be a little bit, at least happy with that until they can start to see some shots go down.
Brown ahead for Verney. Back to the corner for Brown inside Perron. She's had a nice start.
Yeah, Jasmine's very, very strong. She's a left-hander, good finisher around the rim. She rebounds the ball very well. So nice job there by the Hornets if they're looking for some offense to find her.
McAfee for Speedy for three. Oh, that rimmed out as well. That's a couple that the Freeze have had here to start this second quarter that have been around and out. One from Enqua, one from Speedy. Knocked away there on the interior pass for Brown.
It's nice defense. Nice take there to the rim with the left-hand finish by McAfee.
Katie McAfee, her shot, I thought, that game at FHS against Port City, the buzzer beater in the first half was really the one that turned the game around.
Yeah, that was a big momentum swing.
And I thought she did it right. She got the ball, sized up the clock, got over half, got squared right up to it, so she could use the glass. I think she did that intentionally down in.
Well, watching Katie play from high school on, she's never rattled. She's very calm, very composed. Makes her, the great player that she is because she doesn't let things get to her. She just, kind of stays in that moment.
Skier to the line, as mentioned, 5 years with the Capers. Active coach with BNS teams and Acadia as well by times. About 7 points a game in this league last year for Skier.
Freeze hanging on to that 10-point lead right now.
McAfee, that one. Sort of hung up on the rim. That was a real soft bounce.
That touched every part of the rim, didn't it?
Reach in there from Tumwine, knocks the ball away, but it's into the hands of the Hornets. Whirling drive by Widmeyer. Knocked out by Tumwine. Widmeyer was looking for a foul. Another good ad there. Sophia Widmeyer played at Providence and St. Mary's. 57 games in the Big East, the Division I level. Ooh. Penny on the rebound. There's Butts. Back for Speedy. Butts backing in the post. McAfee shoots the three.
That's a good look. She just knocked one down. There's nothing wrong with taking that look. She's pretty wide open.
Boy, the speed of Widmeyer with the ball impresses me, Fred.
She handles it really well, and she does a nice job in the open court of getting to people's edges and, getting around their hips and shoulders like you saw right there. And, with her length, she's able to finish some tough angles.
That game against the Thunder on Tuesday seemed to be a lot of points for the Hornets on plays just like that. The penetration into the paint and score. I wouldn't say they knocked down a ton of jump shots. So, I meant to say off the top, and I think the Freeze really need to control that paint area, stop the penetration, to keep the Hornets side down here.
Well, I think they do have a size advantage. They're pretty equally matched up teams, but I do think there is an interior advantage for the Freeze.
Butts off for Speedy. Tumwine for three.
Well, she just hit one from there. It's a good look for her.
Oh, Butts again hustles on the board. Nice pass from Speedy. Tumwine is, I'll say, mugged from behind by Janice King.
That would be a foul, yeah. That is definitely a foul.
Hard foul there.
But no malintent,
No.
malice to that. It's just a little bit off balance, and you go down. And Tumwine was in a bit of a vulnerable position because she was trying to get up and score. And so, sometimes those fouls are a little bit worse than they look. But I know this: none of these women are made of glass.
No, that's for sure, and
yeah.
It's good to see, the physical play here Kamwine makes them both. Kamwine 91 career games for the Reds. Over 300 career rebounds, 650 points or thereabouts.
That's a nice pass.
Rebound to Butts. And again, as we talked about with the last game, Kajarini was, the stats that aren't counted on the score sheet, the rebounds. Butts having a good rebounding game here as well.
Yeah, she's been dominant in a different way than we saw from Kajarini, but right now this is a game that's being controlled by Butts for sure.
Eve McDonald in, as well as Andrea Wright.
Well, you're seeing Coach Daly use his bench quite a bit, and he has been through the game so far, but he's doing a nice job of going in and getting his players in and keeping them fresh.
Widmeyer on the rebound of the Daly miss. Widmeyer for Skier. Skier back rimmer.
That's a good look.
Yeah, it was.
It's a good take, yeah.
She got lots of space. Kamwine from the free throw line. Bounce is not going the Freeze way, but there is Wright on the boards. Oh, nice look for Kamwine.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, a really unfortunate miss there. Freeze have been getting good looks this quarter, just haven't been able to finish. And as you said, when the shots are going down, they look really good.
Well, like we said, Brown can get in and seal and score, and if she's going to catch it that deep, she's going to cause all kinds of trouble.
Picks up the foul on Andrea Wright. We'll send Hannah Brown to the line. Brown, a former pro. Played at Elber Berlin, averaged 26.4 points and 12.6 rebounds in 2018-19.
That's a second lane violation on free throws. I don't know. They're not used to each other's rhythms, I guess.
That one snakes in. Ahead for McAfee. Kamwine. The Freeze actually look pretty good here on offense. The ball's moving pretty good.
Yeah, the ball's been moving well. They've been doing a nice job of sharing it. They're not forcing shots. Nice job there by Kamwine to stay physical and stay attached to her defender and create space. But that got open because the ball's moving from one side to the other. They're able to draw some help before they move it. People aren't shooting, quick shots or bad shots. It's just a real good team effort right now by the Freeze.
Yeah, Andrea Wright out. I know she's been nursing a knee injury this week, getting a little treatment on that. I think it's a knee at least. Kamwine to the line again. Restores the 10-point lead.
Yeah, she's having a really good quarter here, Bill. Yeah, only halfway through it. She's been very good.
Jenny Unqua has checked back in. And here comes Tony Bianchini. 58 games at the U Sports level with CBU does Bianchini.
Bianchini played for Memorial High School in Cape Breton.
Brown on that miss. Foul called there on the Hornets.
If Kyle Woodworth says it's something, then it is something. He just doesn't miss a thing.
Yeah, that's going to go on number 20. I think Sarah Gordon was looking there to try to read the hand signals. And that will be the bonus. That's one of the few disadvantages of being here on the floor is the hand signals from the referees are always towards the scorer's table. And the setup, Fred, that I had for the ACAAs in your gym, that was spectacular to be right there on the scorer's table. The officials coming over to hear absolutely everything. Probably some things over the air there that folks didn't want to hear.
Not from me, Bill. I was good as gold that whole weekend.
Kamwine again from the line with the make. Widmeyer shoots it over McDonald. McDonald on the rebound. Batted ball there. Kamwine on the rip. Jump ball called just as Eva was ripping that away.
Nice job by Widmeyer there following her shot.
Yeah, there you see the great rebound, and that is Sarah Gordon hitting the deck there. Gordon played at Lakehead for 5 seasons, 64 games played, 6.5 points, 3.5 rebounds for Sarah Gordon. Hopefully she gets up okay. Trainer is out to have a look just to check on her.
Looks like it might be her back. I think one of the players said there's something about her back. Trainer seems to be touching her lower back. Hope she's okay.
Yeah, for sure. And certainly Tamwine, strong upper body on Eva.
Well, she's always been a strong player, and her whole career she's been a very physical player. And we saw her take a hit down here, and we've seen her give one down this end. And we hope that Sarah Gordon's okay.
Yeah, we do. Gordon getting up, a little work there on the arm, I think, on Gordon. Does seem to be in a...
Trainer seems to be okay. Sarah's getting up.
Yeah, gonna walk over.
Looks like it might be her elbow, the way she's holding her arm there. She went down pretty hard. There's probably several parts of her body that are sore after taking a hit like that.
There are.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Bill, these are tough women. They're used to physical basketball. I wouldn't be surprised to see her get taped up and get back out there.
Absolutely. She is getting some tape there. Looks like a floor burn, if nothing else, on that elbow. So 4:32 to go, 14 on the shot clock, 12-point Freeze lead. Anna Brown does a little mop-up work. Tony Bianchini set to inbound.
Well,
and now we have...
The Hornets bench is short to start with, right? So we don't want to see them lose players to injury, that's for sure.
No, for sure. And these weekends like this, where you're traveling to the other province, these are certainly, as we've talked about, women who have everyday lives. These aren't, this isn't the student athlete who's in school and they schedule their classes around as best as they can to free themselves up for game schedules, and sure they get a little leeway that way. But these are people, Fred, that they're out in the real world, doing what they need to do, and to make these weekend commitments to travel, always, not always easy. Usually the road teams often a little bit short.
Well, yeah, you've got some, you've got professionals, you've got mothers, you've got, some student athletes. It's a really, an eclectic mix of lifestyles, like you said, that are all playing on these teams. And, it's nice that they're able to put some of that stuff aside and get out here and represent their teams and their families and, play this game at a really high level.
Well, we'll bring Jazz Perron back into the game here. Jasmine had a pretty good first half, I thought, Jasmine has.
Yeah, she's strong. She's been around a while. She's played at a high level for a while, and she's going to be very solid.
Catch there, Bianchini for the shot. It's going to go out of bounds off of Widmeyer. Penny, McAfee, Speedy, Enqua, and Tamwine for the Freeze.
It's a nice screen there by Tamwine to free up McAfee, just to give her a little space. It was nice defense on the ball.
Oh, Katie McAfee. Nice move, kick out for Speedy for 3.
That's a pretty clean look for Speedy. She's not going to miss that again.
Jaden Penny almost had the interception there. Eva Tamwine picks up the foul. That's Widmeyer on the drive. Sophia Widmeyer leads SMU to an AOS championship.
Well, we saw last year with us that when Jaden Penny gets out in those passing lanes, normally she comes up with steals. She's excellent at anticipating that. She was a little bit off on that one, which led to the Tamwine foul. But I like the activity. I like the effort and maybe put a little doubt in their heads when they pass the next one. That she's going to be in those passing lanes. Yeah,
Widmeyer, 15 points, nearly 5 boards last season with SMU, including a 37-point outburst against UNB last season. That's a big scoring game at U Sports level, 37.
37's a big number.
Big butt screen. Now a post catch for Butts.
Nice job there by the Hornets of clogging that paint up on Butts' catch. She couldn't do much with it, and then nice job there by Speedy to find them. She drew the crowd, and then the crowd had to disperse, and they left her, and she did a nice job of cleaning that up and finishing.
Yeah, I was just going to ask her, did we see the Hornets there go into a zone of their own?
Well, I think they're going to have to do something to try to slow down the bleeding a little bit here, giving up 37 here, and still 3.5 to go.
Butts ducks under, catch for Speedy on the outside. Butts with position inside again, catch, shoot.
Yeah, she's having a good game. Just no hesitation on her release. She's just very confident and knows what she wants to do when she catches it.
Speedy called for the bump on Miriam Franchetto. Franchetto out of Kingston, Ontario. 3 seasons at Acadia, 44 games in AUS.
It's a tough foul there called on Kylie Speedy. It's clock is stopped and you're 90-odd feet from the rim, but you know, it's unfortunate that it was in bonus, but I like the ball pressure. I like that she's getting up and making it hard for them, and you know, sometimes you know, there it is, right? They missed the free throw, so the pressure on the ball and the disruption, and you know, sometimes it's worth the foul. Well, there you go, missed both. Oh, Hannah Brown,
Yeah,
big rebound,
Brown
put back.
there.
That is an interesting matchup between Brown and Butts.
Renee Goodman on the outside with the hold off for Katie Butts. Goodman drifts to the corner. Butts dribbles on Brown, hands off to McAfee. Robbie Daly was open underneath. McAfee finds space and scores 2 from 13 feet.
Nice job staying composed again in the paint with a little bit of pressure on her. I think Coach Ford was looking for a 3 in the key call.
Brown on the miss. Nice block out by Goodman. And big rejection by Goodman on Skier, who crashed the boards. Tough catch for Butts. She's fouled. That's just a smart play to draw the foul there.
Well, it was a good pass and a really, really good catch there by Butts, and she had Skier down around her feet, which is tough. Skier was doing what she could to body her physically because she clearly can't win the height battle there. But you know, foul, you know, resulting foul is just a part of it. But that's a great catch by Butts.
Katie Butts will go to the line here, and we have members of the Junior Reds here gathering beside us. Fred, I think they're going to put on a little halftime show.
Well, they're looking pretty excited to get out there. You should tell the coaches don't call any timeouts. Let these girls get out on the floor.
Butts from the line is good on the first. Freeze now extend the lead up to 20. I didn't have this in my bingo card for the day.
No, it's been an impressive half here by the Freeze, and their defense has been excellent.
Eva Tumwine will check in for Katie Butts with 2:19 here to go. Another smart move here by the Freeze coaching staff to give Butts what probably will be an extended rest here for this half with a 20-point lead, assuming there isn't an outburst by the Hornets.
Well, the way that the Freeze are defending right now, you know, you have to think that it's, you know, there's not going to be a big 10-0 run happening here in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
That's good defense inside by Tumwine. Martin tried to make space, and Tumwine was right there with the hand on the shot. Verney, the head contact there on Speedy.
It's another foul, so that'll be another bonus. And you don't want to send Speedy to the line. These are
shoots
pretty automatic.
Yeah, she shoots roughly 85% at UNB. Second all-time in free throw percentage with the Reds.
You know, Bill, I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised. I thought that number would actually be higher.
85 is pretty high.
85 is a fantastic number, but I don't know if I've seen her miss. I don't know where the 15% of the misses come from.
It's got to be road games.
Fair enough.
Bianchini guarded by McDonald. Hands off to Verney, and there's the quick hands of Eve McDonald to get the jump ball. Possession arrow goes to the Freeze.
Yeah, she's a nightmare when she's guarding you. So athletic, so quick. Uses her hands without fouling so well.
Wow, that's the soccer player in her, Fred. The way she moves, you can see it.
Yeah.
In the way she defends. She's a move the feet first defender. That's what you have to be in soccer.
Yeah.
Speedy. Back outside. Goodman for Speedy. Off glass. Rebound by McDonald. McDonald, I think, got a shot there to the eye. Robbie Daly makes 3.
She missed a couple early, but that's a little bit of a break and a little chance to get into some rhythm there. So nice release there by Daly. She's normally a very good shooter. So
good call there by the officials to blow that one down, get Eve McDonald off. She did, get some contact to the eye there. Brings Katie McAfee in back off the bench.
Well, we talked about Butts coming off and whether that was going to lead to a Hornets run, and it's been the opposite.
Yeah, and Jill Rowe checks in as well. for the Freeze. Freeze playing nicely in this zone. Bianchini for 3. That one's off the wire up top. I think Joe Rowe was there for the rebound. Rowe, strong player for UNB as well. 5 seasons, last in 2008. CIS Final 8 in 2006. Speedy there with the miss, knocked away by Tumwine. 45.6 to go on the clock. Addition to the Reds halftime show, I'm sure we will have a guest here. And the way things have been going, my guess is probably going to be Katie Butts. Is who they'll pick out of the crowd for me to talk to here
would be a
at halftime.
Good person to pick, that's for sure.
That's Peralt with the miss there. Another strong defense by Fredericton.
You know, Bill, I know the Hornets are missing some players, but this has been a very impressive half by the Freeze. Both ends of the floor, balanced attack. Butts has been very, very good, but they'll only give up 22 points here to this point in the game. That's an excellent defensive effort.
That's Verney on the make.
Nice job of Verney getting to the rim, but even then, still 24
5
points.
seconds left here in the half.
Oh,
and Verney gives up the foul, and that's not a good foul to give.
No, and it's 1.2 on the clock. And again, you're sending Speedy to the line. That's a tough time to make that foul. You got to keep your feet active and moving so that you don't foul with 1.2. You just got to defend for 1 second more.
There it is, Fred.
There it is. There's your foul. Okay, there you go. I stand corrected. Now we're down to. She's back down to 85. I jinxed her, Bill.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time we talk about it, it ends up being a jinx.
Sorry, Kylie. I shouldn't have said a thing. That's a great half for the Freeze.
That is a great half for the Freeze. That's the best half of basketball they've played this season. I've seen their exhibition games, and their 2 against Port City. That's just spectacular.
Well, Bill, I'm going to let you enjoy the halftime show.
Thanks, Fred, and
we'll
see you back for the second half.
Sounds great.
It does look like it'll be Katie joining me here. Be right back in 1 moment with Katie. Katie Butts, welcome to the halftime interview here, Game 3, Day 1. This is your first season in this league. You're obviously enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, great. First half, you just played phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, you scoring touch and on the boards as well.
Yeah, we're having a good half.
Yeah, this is the best half of basketball I've seen the team play this year for sure.
I think so. Yeah, we got to keep it up for the second half, but today was good.
Yeah, these are the defending champions. They've got some good players on their end. How was that battle inside against Hannah Brown?
Oh, she's big, she's tough, she's strong. She's got some nice ones on me, but it's a good battle. It's equal on both sides.
Yeah, you certainly see some of the players like Hannah Brown in U Sports with UNB. But what is it like, though, to get to play some of these players who, like Hannah Brown, are some of the all-time greats in this league?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I only just finished up my second year at UNB, so I've only had 2 years in the league, so it's nice to play against some of the greats that were in the league, seeing some of the best and playing against some of the best. So.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're from the Ottawa area.
Yes.
So you're down here for UNB for school.
Yep.
And working with the province this summer, as I understand it.
Yep. So staying here for the summer and then couldn't say no to play for the Freeze.
Yeah, as a tourism ambassador, is that your role with the summer?
Yeah.
For the summer?
It's an awesome job. New Brunswick is awesome.
Yeah, I knew you wanted to get that in, a little promotion. What have you seen so far in your role as tourism ambassador in New Brunswick?
Oh, just this past week we traveled all the north of the province, so Bathurst, Campbellton, Miramichi, Edmundston, and saw it's so beautiful up there. You can't miss it.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal part of the province for sure.
Yeah.
What does it sort of mean? You see the kids connect here. That's pretty special in my view. I know when we up to Miramichi, all the kids, coming over for autographs. Same thing here. Same thing happens in St. John. How does that make you feel as a player when you have that connection, with that next generation?
Yeah, I love these girls. All of our junior Reds, or
yes.
Any little girl that comes up to me is just so special. knowing that they could be the next UNB star, or like just putting that passion into young athletes is so awesome.
And just before I let you go, any insights on who the new UNB coach might be?
No idea. When you know, let me know.
Yeah, when I know, I'll let you know. All right, very good. Thanks, Katie. Great first half, and good luck in the second
All right,
half.
thank
We'll
you.
be back, folks, with half number 2 in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie. Well done. Good evening, fans, and welcome back to Bliss Carman here in fabulous Fredericton, New Brunswick. I'm Bill Gibson, joined by Fred Connors. Fred, entertaining first half of basketball. I think as we might have said as we ended that half, I certainly didn't expect the Freeze to have a 25-point lead on the defending champion Hornets in this one. That was a great half of basketball by Fredericton.
Yeah, it was a real complete half. They defended very, very well, rebounded well. They did a lot of good things in the offensive end, and I mean, it doesn't hurt when you have Katie Butts going off for 18, and tough situation here for the Hornets. They got a big hole they're going to try to dig their way out of, but we've seen stranger things, Bill.
Yeah, for the Freeze, they didn't have a lot of scores, as you mentioned. Butts with 18, Tumwine and Speedy with 10 each. I don't know how. It's been a long day. Every once in a while, make a little mistake there.
You're preseason too, Bill.
I am. Yeah, Speedy and Tumwine with 10, McAfee with 6, and Robbie Daly with 5 rounds out the scoring for Fredericton. For the Hornets, Tony Bianchini had 1, Jalen Skier 3, Sophia Widmeyer 2, Jasmine Perron 4, Jayla Verney 2, Hannah Brown 10, and Janice King 2. Hannah Brown, as expected, the leading scorer there for the Hornets.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it's not necessarily balanced, but when you have 3 players scoring 38, and the other team has 24.
And a lovely halftime interview with Katie Butts, who is just a fabulous human being to have a short interview with.
I've never met her, but I've heard tremendous things about her, and when your reputation follows you that well, and as a young player too, right? She's very new to the Fredericton area, but she's already got quite a reputation as being a super character woman.
Yeah, and confirmed at halftime by one of the minor officials who's a regular official on the far side. She is a referee as well.
Wow. I don't know. She must have cloned herself. That's a lot of places for her to be all at the same time.
It is. There's Daly ahead of the pack. Using those track skills is Robbie Daly.
That is not the start that the Halifax Hornets wanted, that's for sure. Coach Forward will not be happy with that.
Verney uses the Brown screen. Back for Skier, has Perron in the post, instead goes to Brown. Verney gets to 16 feet, shoots it over Butts. Good closeout there by Katie Butts.
Yeah, she covers space. She's certainly very agile, to go along with that length. She can be very disruptive on the defensive end.
McAfee for 3, nothing but nylon.
That's a tough backcourt right there with Speedy and McAfee. They're both hitting threes. His team's very, very tough to beat.
Extends the lead to 30 for Fredericton. Little trap there, Speedy Butts. McAfee's ahead of the pack. Nice look. And that's going to be called an intentional foul there. Unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that was a little bit too much, and it's a clear path, but I think it's unsportsmanlike. It's about 14 different violations in one play, to be honest, Bill.
Yeah, we saw there on the replay a lot of contact from Jalen Skier to Kylie Speedy. Speedy will go to the line, and as we said, it's not where you want to put Kylie Speedy.
I'm not saying anything, Bill. I jinxed her last time, so see, I shouldn't even open my mouth. See that? I'm sorry, Kylie. That's twice.
Freeze will retain possession on the unsportsmanlike call. That's 2 in the ball. Speedy will inbound, guarded by Bianchini. Butts, tough post catch. Did control the ball. Out for Speedy, 10 to shoot. Speedy doesn't need that many. Rebound to Verney. Ahead, Speedy was looking for the pickoff. Bianchini with the tough catch. Outside for Brown, shoots the three-pointer. Back rim, rebound, Perron.
Well, I mean, the Hornets have had some pretty good looks to start this second half, and, players that normally make those shots, and they're just not going down, and, there's just some games that's the way it is, and you're going to have to find another way, and right now, the transition game tends to favor the Fredericton squad, so it's going to be hard for Halifax to get themselves back into this if they're struggling in the half court and they're not scoring in the open court. Not too many options left other than offensive rebounds.
Yeah, to me, this is where you don't want to put them. You don't want to give them points with the clock stopped.
Well, you're right.
And their Skier was on the drive, and you saw, I think, Enqua could have just stood there and made Skier shoot it over her instead of fouling her and putting her on the line. Enqua keeps the toes behind the line.
Yeah, impressive balance right there.
Didn't start playing basketball until middle school, did Enqua. Inside for Butts. Another 2 points for Katie Butts, make it 20.
But again, though, Bill, it's such unselfish basketball, right? Like, was Robbie Daly open to shoot that shot? Yes. Has she hit a three already? Yes. But you got to feed the hot hand, and you want to keep Butts going, and they do a nice job of moving the ball to her.
There's another foul on Enqua. Hannah Brown with a nice move and finish, and again, they'll get an opportunity for more with the clock stopped. Eva Tumwine, who had a good first half, jumps up off the bench quickly for Coach Kevin Daly. I think we'll see Enqua stuck to the bench here for most of this quarter now.
Could be. I mean, with the score being gapped, you might be able to take a little bit more of a risk with her.
On steal by Skier.
That's too bad. That's too bad, because that's what they need to do to get into the game, is convert those turnovers, and great hustle to get the loose ball, but unfortunately she just was too high with that pass.
Yeah, I think we'll see a little bit more pressure on these freeze guards from the Hornets in the second half than we saw in the first. Inside for Tumwine, defended by Perron. Good patience from Eva. Finds McAfee. Rebound Verney.
Good defense there by the Hornets. Parent did a real nice job of keeping Tumwine under control.
Rebound again for Butts. She finds Speedy for McAfee in the middle of the court.
Nice job there by Skier, coming from behind to tip that loose.
Skier back for Brown. That is a three-pointer and in.
Little momentum shift here, Bill. Hornets going to have to keep that up and sustained, but feel a little bit of a difference here. Skier's made a bit of an energy difference here in the second half.
Yes, but it's still just the same 25 it was at halftime.
It is, yeah. Well, they got down to 30, and I think like I said, it's a big hole to dig your way out of. But Skier keeps this up, and we can get some momentum. Brown starts scoring because we know she can score it. Freeze are going to have to stay focused.
She can definitely score it. Yeah, the Freeze can't relax. I think just keep running the offense, take care of the ball. Speedy from a deep three. That one rattled through.
That's a big shot. Keep the momentum back.
Speedy, to me, has a couple different releases. She's got one like that that's kind of a little flatter, and she's got another high arc, or a little bit of a rainbow release.
Well, you get your feet in the paint, you got to shoot over defenders, and she hit a growth spurt. She was always a very tiny player, so she's had to learn to shoot over the top of defenders from a young age. So that's a touch that it's hard to teach. That touch, it just comes from hard work and repetition.
And of course, played for Father Jeff at UNB, who's now moved on from the coaching role, at least, still at UNB. And Fred, what's that like? You coach your daughters.
It's absolutely incredible to be able to work with your kids, and you coach them along the way in different capacities, but to do it at the college and university level and where they're more mature, it's pretty special.
McAfee drills the three. Quickly, we're back up to 31 after it was just 25. Brown answers, 2 off glass over Butts. If she's going to catch it in there, she's going to score it more often than not.
Yeah, that's her fourth or fifth deep touch that's resulted in points.
Butts is going to travel on that play. Good defense there by Brown.
Seems like when you get into those post touches where Butts has a little bit of space to operate, she's good. Those situations there where there's a little bit of physicality that's initiated, she gets off balance like you saw in that last play. So it's going to be something for her to work on, getting a little bit wider and being in a little bit more balance.
We see Andrea Wright in for Katie Butts. Tumwine with the foul on Brown. Not sure what the team fouls are, but I think they'll be piling up here for the Freeze. Still 6 minutes to go in this quarter.
Feels like it, yeah. I'm not sure how close they are to bonus, but
that's at least 3, if not 4.
That's another touch. They're trying to find Brown, right? Like I think they're starting to see there's a little bit of a momentum on the offensive end going through Brown. She's hit some shots, got the foul line, made a layup, and she has a size advantage here with Butts off the floor.
Skier makes the long 2.
Yeah, it's a Hannah Brown screen that freed her up, so Starting to see a little bit of confidence starting to kick into this Hornets squad here.
Hornets, of course, another game here tomorrow. Speedy trapped on the outside by Franchetto. Games here tomorrow, Windsor and Port City at 11. The Hornets get Moncton. Boy, that's a good-looking Moncton team. That won. And then the Thunder and Fredericton. Thunder team, wow, what a game there from Cajarini that we just had. I'm not sure what she finished with. But
30.
Was it 30?
It was 30, yeah.
It was 30, yeah.
I checked after the game, she had 30.
That's a pretty good game there.
Well, 30 with none in the first quarter.
Yeah. Speedy looking for the foul through the key. Shot missed. Rebound. Hornets looking ahead. Good defense by Eve McDonald. Said that a couple times. Brown with a nice look for King. King, reverse lay-in, doesn't go. Rebound McDonald. Freeze on the little bit of a push here for McAfee. McAfee jump shot there for Andrea Wright. Doesn't go. Rebound Brown. But there's McDonald again. Gets a hand on the ball. Skier uses the body into McDonald. And I think this will probably be bonus. If not, it's handy to it. Bailey and Jaden Penny off the bench for the freeze. McAfee and McDonald sit down.
See Coach Forward over there asking how many fouls that is, and that they just told him it was 4, so the next one will be bonus for the Hornets.
Widmeyer drains 2.
Well, she had some good looks in the first half that didn't go down, and we know that she can score, so she gets on a roll here. Halifax going to need that to score some points.
Foul drawn.
Halifax foul on number 9, Miriam Franchetto.
Go on Miriam Franchetto. There you see Speedy with the quick move. Franchetto was working on the closeout. Well timed by Kylie Speedy. Brown to the bench. Leah Martin checks in.
It's hard too when you're coaching a different team like this. For Coach Forward, he's used to having a very a deep bench with a very guard-loaded roster, where his response to this situation would be to get up and pressure and trap, and his roster is not built that way, and so trying to make adjustments as a coach, it's just such a different team, and it's such a quick turnaround and not a lot of practice time, and so it's hard to make those adjustments in game when your normal go-to isn't what you go to right now, right?
Penny up top.
Good defense. Very good defense there by the Hornets. Nice job switching, staying connected. Forced Speedy to have to shoot a very tough shot.
Butts and McAfee check back in for the freeze. 4:28 to go here.
It's a good substitution there by Coach Daly to get Butts out there, because the score doesn't really indicate the momentum swing that's happened here, and Halifax have been very, very much in control of this the last 2-3 minutes.
Look inside, kick for Martin, now back outside. Franchetto, that rimmed out. That'd have been a big bucket if it went down, and there's McAfee on the boards. McAfee has Daly on the far side instead, looking for Tamwine, picked off by Franchetto. Jaden Penny is back. Oh, good defense by Jaden Penny.
Of all the players that I've coached with an ability to time a block shot, Jaden's probably one of the best I've ever coached. She's excellent timing. She's a very, very unique ability to not foul and disrupt shots and get touches on the basketball.
Eva Tamwine a little too strong on that shot. Rebound taken away by Bianchini. Momentum here now for sure with the Hornets, and a lay-in on the far side is Widmeyer.
Well, we didn't see a lot of this in the first half where they were getting stops and getting out and running. So, we talked about they're going to need to find a way to score with some consistency, and that's a good job there, getting out and running, and Widmeyer getting out and getting in that running lane.
Lead is down to 23. Another takeaway here by the Hornets. Oh no, Butts is going to fight for that back and draw the jump ball. Possession will stay with the freeze.
That's a really nice job there by Katie Butts of sticking with that play, because if she doesn't, it's 2 points for the Hornets.
Yeah, it looked like Widmeyer had that. You see nice replay there. Good work by the folks at Aurora. Get Radiant on top of that one. Certainly looked to me like the Hornets had that ball, but Butts with the recovery. Subs in. Enqua checks in for Tumwine.
Those are the types of plays that win games, Bill, that you don't really notice. But if that hustle by Butts doesn't happen, then it's now, down to a 21-point game, and the Hornets have been chipping away at this a little bit here this third quarter.
There's Butts. Can't get that one to go down. Beat the shot clock. Rebound Enqua. Jenny Enqua just rips the ball away from the Hornets and scores.
Wow.
Technical foul.
That's a lot
there.
of strong right there. That's a whole lot of strong.
Yeah, here we see the strength from Enqua. And it's Franchetto who picks up the foul, complaining to the official.
Yeah, I don't know. She got teed up for something that she said, but I don't know what she was complaining about. It looked like it was a clean play for Enqua to take that ball from her and score it, but I don't know what she was complaining about.
Lead now 26 for the Freeze. That's math even I can do when it's. Well, so it's only 25 on the board. I thought it was at 25 before that went in. That one did count, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It did. I don't know what. Yeah, I'm not sure, Bill. I thought you were right, actually.
Yeah,
myself.
I thought it was 65-40 before she shot. Maybe I'm just having a little pipe dream here, but.
Well, we're all getting a little tired, Bill.
Little runner from Penny comes up short. Knocked away by the Hornets. It stays with the Freeze. Brown and Sarah Gordon check in. I think this is Gordon's first action here of the second half after that injury in the first.
Yeah, nice to see her back out there. That's a good sign for her and for the Hornets, and I'm glad that she's able to get out and finish playing.
Daly for McAfee. McAfee, step back shot, and it's only a 2. Penny crashes the glass. Nice rebound, Jaden Penny. Inside, Enqua. Oh, nice move to get Gordon up in the air.
Take.
Wow.
That's a nice take right there. Great footwork, great ball fake. Great finish.
Butts is going to pick up the foul there. Reaching in on Bianchini. That's got to be bonus, does it not?
That should be bonus, yeah. That should be bonus. And the bonus it is. Well, nice response there by the Freeze. The Hornets were starting to get back into this and had some momentum, and the Freeze have managed to get this back out to the 27-point lead. And, I go back to that play by Butts, right?
Yeah, to control that ball on the floor.
Yeah.
2:20 to go here in the third quarter. Enqua loses that out of their hands. Not quite through 3 quarters here. The Freeze had 68 points in both their first 2 games, 67 already on the board to this one with a full 12 minutes left to play.
Yeah, this has been one of their best offensive outputs since this team's been put together this year.
Brown scores 2 more. Enqua on the catch on the outside. Lucky that got all the way through to Penny. Butts takes the outside shot, no rim there. It's tough to rebound those when they, don't get the rim. You really have to be on the line of the shot to see that.
Yeah, it's hard to track because you have a certain timing that you're expecting as a player, and you kind of plan that out, and all of a sudden that timing is shot, and it becomes very scrambly.
Brown, the catch on the outside. Nice pass to the corner. Gordon tries over Enqua, but it's Enqua on the board.
Oh, big mismatch down low.
Speedy cross court. Jenny Enqua. Oh, that one looked good, but
yeah,
it
it was a nice
raveled out.
release. Yeah, nice release. Good look.
And you're right, it was a big mismatch. Butts had Skier pinned. Gordon, 3 points.
Oh, nice job following her shot.
But follows and scores 2.
That's nice hustle.
Lead now down to 22.
Oh, she hit the bank.
Oh, the expressions of Katie McAfee. Just a joy to watch her play. Some of the facial expressions, just priceless. Another great one there.
Her facial expressions go to show how much she loves playing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
She's having fun out there, right?
Push on the rebound as Butts corralled the ball. Now Katie Butts will go to the line to shoot. Lead is 24.
Was another little mini run there by the Hornets that's answered well here by the Freeze. I mean, a lucky bank doesn't hurt when you're trying to do that, but then another good stop here and more points to get that lead back up now.
Renee Goodman has checked in. I think Goodman can be a real energy player for this Freeze team.
Well, we got a chance to see her at the B&B Provincials. She was playing with a group that my daughter was playing with, and
yes.
she is a high energy rebounder, defender, really good teammate. Someone's going to get out and communicate.
Yeah, incredible teammate. Just a real cheerleader when she's not in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Another score there for the Hornets. Daly with the shot. That rimmed out. Butts is going to pick up the foul, I think, on the offensive rebound that time.
Well, that'll be bonus. And, the Hornets keep getting back into that 20-point range. They just can't seem to get over that hump and get it under the 20-point mark. But the Freeze are doing a real nice job of answering all these little mini runs. And
Brown good on the first. Eva Tamuine in for Katie Butts. No surprise there. With 19 seconds left in the quarter, we'll protect that extra foul. I'm still wondering where that extra Freeze point went. I think there was one more there when it was 65-66, I thought anyway. That's a good group on the table, so I'm not going to complain over there at all.
No, we're gonna pretend that we did notice that.
Score here would be big for the Freeze. McAfee is hunting it. Called for the travel.
Jugger pivot foot.
Yeah, and now here a score would be massive for her.
Yeah, it certainly would. Just for their psyche.
Yeah. Would give them hope going into that fourth quarter to get that lead 20 or under. Skier looks to give it to them. I thought she had it.
That's too bad because she covered a lot of ground in a hurry and had a good clean look there around the rim and just couldn't get it to fall. But this is where you got to get into the quarter break and you got to try to find a way to keep chipping away at it and see if you can get this down to a 10, 12-point game by the 5-minute mark and see what can happen from there.
Yeah, you cut that down. You start, as you talked about, the psyche. You start to get into the other team's head a little bit. And saw Fredericton, I wouldn't say come unglued there by any means, but certainly the play got a little scrappy by times in that quarter.
Well, there's something, there's just certain benchmarks in basketball. Like if they can come out here and go on a 4-0 run and get it under 20 really early, then it just gets you, maybe you can get the Fredericton group to look around a little bit, hesitate a little bit, think about a comeback a little bit, and just see if you can keep chipping away and see what can happen. I'd be surprised. It's a pretty composed group on that Fredericton squad, and they do have Butts that they can throw the ball to, and she hasn't scored the ball as much that third quarter, and Hornets have done a nice job of answering, but you gotta find a way, right? That's what it's all about, is just find a way.
And there's a look inside that Hornets huddle. He's fun to watch in the huddle, Mark. I always enjoy when he comes to town with MSVU.
He's a very animated coach.
He is. I'm not sure you enjoyed it when MSVU comes to town.
No, I love it when they come to town. There's nothing better. They've been our biggest rival for as long as I've been a a coach or even player in our league, and it's a real great rivalry, and we've developed some pretty good friendships through that rivalry. And it's I like when they come to town, and it's fun when you have to go out there and be your best on a certain day, and I know that we have to be that when St. Vincent rolls into town.
I'm early asking this, but where are the ACAAs this year? Do you know?
That's a great question, Bill. I'm not 100% sure. It'll be somewhere in the Halifax area, but I don't know if that's been decided yet.
Okay. Very good.
I can just tell you where it's not going to be.
Set here to go for quarter 4. Thanks again to sponsors Medavie, Dairy Farmers of Canada, and Royale, who's proudly Atlantic Canadian. Make this happen. Brown crashing the boards, foul on Tamwine to start out. So it's Verney, Skier, Brown, Perron, and I think that's Widmeyer, who's turned sideways to me there. Can't quite see the number for the Hornets. Speedy, McAfee, Jill Rowe, Robbie Daly, and Eva Tamwine. No, it's Sarah Gordon.
Yeah.
Brown again draws the foul. That's 2 quick ones this quarter on Tamwine.
They've made a concerted effort to make sure that Brown's touched the ball the whole second half. So, and it's been working. There's certainly more flow to their offense. I mean, they only scored, was it 24 in the first half. So they scored, more than that in the third quarter alone. So they seem to know their formula for the second half, and it's been working. They're still chipping away. Like I said, she hits this, now we're at that 20 mark, right?
Yeah, they won that quarter 25-22 in the third. So the Freeze still pretty good-looking offense. Brown again. By far, I would say, the high scorer for the Hornets in this one.
Yeah, she's been pretty solid for them this game.
We look forward to player of the game. You'd have to think Brown, thus far, for the Hornets would be the obvious choice. I always like the obvious choice when it comes to those decisions. McAfee
nice
with 5 to shoot. 3 seconds call.
Yeah, that's terrific defense. Terrific defense. So, here's what we were talking about, Bill. They can score here. There's that 4-0 run to get it under 20, and it's early. So, is this what it's going to be to get the Fredericton group to think a little bit? And we saw, early on when the Port City Fog made a comeback. They were down 14, and they were able to come back on the Fredericton group. So we know that you can do it against this Fredericton crew. So
Speedy with the miss. Rowe can't collect the rebound into the hands of Gordon. Gordon 1-on-4. She's going to wait for teammates. A little errant entry pass there.
Yeah, I thought she should have went to the corner, had a better angle if she let that go through Brown. I think the seal angle was a little better to go through Brown on that.
Widmeyer checks back in for the Hornets. Speedy, Butts. Oh, I thought we had kick into the post for Butts. Rebound by Widmeyer. Widmeyer with speed through the paint. Gets it off glass, and it's another freeze foul. That's 3 quick ones here to start this quarter on Fredericton.
Well, it's a nice job of getting out in pace, and it's a pretty good look around the rim. You can see by the look on her face, she's not happy that she missed that. That's a shot she would normally finish, and but there's a bit of a formula starting to show itself here, Bill. Of they can get into this bonus early, they're able to now score with the clock stopping. You can feel, again, that momentum. They think they know how to score in the half court by going through Brown, even though she's not on the floor right now. But now they're under that 20 mark, right? So is this going to be, let's see how Fredericton responds to this. This is a good challenge, good experience for them to have, and how are they going to be able to handle a bit of a run here by the Hornets?
Widmeyer misses the second, but it's Perron on the rebound. Can't get it to go down over Butts. Fights for it again, gets it back. Verney, she scores 2.
Oh, that's a huge shot there by Daly.
Good response by Robbie Daly to score 2 on the baseline jumper.
That's a really big shot. Good look for Daly. That's a shot she'll normally hit, so it's good to see her knock it down. But with the Hornets starting to make a little bit of a run here. That's good response there by Daly.
Yeah, Katie Daly also a scratch for this one. I believe Katie is away on vacation, I think. So she'll be another addition here. Another one of the collection of Ks. Nice run out for Jaden Penny and great pass from Robbie Daly. Good response from the Freeze.
Very good. Yeah, and it's a great run by Jaden, and Robbie Daly involved again with another good play.
And again, good defense there by Daly. Widmeyer loses it out of bounds. Andrea Wright will check in for Kylie Speedy. Katie Butts also checking in. McAfee was looking for Butts. Good defense by Perral. Oh, that was probably a double dribble, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a double dribble. That one was missed.
Butts
all right, gives me
rebound.
something to text to Dan Wilton later.
Yeah, sometimes I get confused about that collection dribble that you're allowed sometimes. So I often, a nice shot there by Robbie Daly. Nice soft, rolls in off the rim.
Yeah,
Robbie
timeout
Daly,
there by
really.
Mark Forward. That's a good timeout there, Bill, because two back-to-back threes from Daly and the nice pass for a layup in transition. And this game's now back under full control again here by the Freeze.
Yeah, it was 17 at one point in time, and the Freeze have gone on a little run here to push it back to 24. Robbie Daly, a big part of that.
Oh, she was huge. Like you said, it was a 17-point game, and really she's offensively taken over from there.
Another look at the Hornets huddle and Coach Forward.
You know, Bill, you said when they came in, nice jerseys.
Yeah, they're beautiful jerseys.
Yeah, they're great.
I think they're new for this year. I like that pattern. Sort of fits in with the Hornets theme, the beehive-ish look.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to give full credit to Mark for that. He's very fashionable.
Yeah, is that a decision he's in on, you think?
I'll find out. I'll find out for you, Bill.
I don't think I was ever on the fashion train. If I was, I fell off it at a very early age.
I've never been accused of that, I'll tell you that.
.707 to go here in the fourth. The Freeze with a good-sized lead on the Hornets. Oh, Verney with a nice shot there. Couldn't get it go down. And Wright on the rebound. McAfee off to Wright, the jump shooter. Can't get that to go.
That's a good look.
Nice rebound there by Widmeyer.
Looking to come up and screen it. She wants to go to her right. That's a good look for her.
Butts again on the boards.
Well, Katie Butts has had herself a whopper of a game, and the offense was great in the first half from her, but her defense and her rebounding has been excellent in the second.
And you're right, gets on the board with 2 points.
Nice pass. It's a great pass.
Jazz Perron will go to the line after scoring 2. The chance for the 3-point play.
Key with Jasmine, you got to keep that ball out of her left hand.
Ball's going to go on Andrea Wright. Franchetto and Skier back in for Bianchini and Widmeyer. Pardon me, Bianchini and Verney. Making mistakes, Fred. It must have been a long day here for me.
Well, Bill, it's muggy out too, a lot of humidity.
It is. It's the humidity.
Maybe something you got to think about too is doing some halftime interviews with the officials.
Yeah, that's one of the overlooked parts of the game that I find is, as basketball grows, we need many, many more officials. Like many more officials. You see some of the officials that do a dozen games a week, and that's tough. That's, it's tough to get there, and I wouldn't say it's unsustainable, but it's very hard to sustain doing that many games a week. And certainly would love to see more female officials.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, as well. Good to see Rashida Atkinson, who played for the Freeze last year, officiating. She did the game before this. And certainly Jen McKenzie, who's the top official here in the league. I'm not sure what her league title is, but call her the league official, head in charge of officiating, to my understanding. Would love to see more female officials in the game as well. Shout out to Jen if you're watching along online. Miss you here this weekend, Jen. Hope to catch up at some point. And just such a crucial part of the game. And you think about if you're an athlete and you're moving on, a lot of them get into coaching. It'd be so great to see some more get into officiating. And that's another one of the things that we mentioned with Katie Butts, who's already into officiating. And I don't think there's going to be too many 12-year-olds who are going to argue with Katie Butts.
No, I don't think so. But you're 100% right, Bill. We need more. We need more youth. We need more females in officiating for sure.
Just shout out to some of the local officials. They want to join. Let me know. Love to have you as a little guest here to talk about officiating and what can happen. 5:35 to go. Lead is now 21 after that score by the Hornets. Butts for Daly. Daly, another long shot. Front rimmer that time. But Eve McDonald is there for the rebound. Back to Daly.
Nice pass.
Inside for Andrea Wright, who scores 2 more. That's 4 on the game for Wright. The folks in the Baltimore area will be loving that one. And your Wright's mother was up here last weekend. A lovely individual there as well. Just a strong family. Skier loses the goggles, and we've got a whistle blown.
They have come off. I was playing in a pickup game a couple weeks ago, and guy that we're playing, his glasses fell off, and someone else jumped for a rebound, landed right on top of him. Yeah. Those glasses are no more, Bill.
Well, they lived a good life.
Well, if we're going to go down, it's a good way to go down.
Yes. No sense just getting retired and thrown into a drawer, as a lot of my old glasses do. If you're going to go down, you might as well go down being stomped on.
Yeah, nice to go down with a legacy story.
Widmeyer, she is athletic for Brown. I thought that one was going down. It's Butts again on the boards.
She has to have a double-double, Bill.
Easily 10 rebounds, easily. Daly again with the shot. Rebound for Skier, 4:28 to go. Robbie Daly picks up the foul. Smart play by Skier just to move over in front of Daly. There you see, right here, you see Skier just with the real smart move over in front, little stutter step to slow down, let Daly run into her. No, she's going to go to the line.
Yeah, it's bonus, I believe. Isn't it bonus? Still, no?
We're into Q4 now here, so.
Oh, I thought they were back to bonus. Didn't they have 3 really quick in this quarter?
They did, yeah, so I think that's only 4.
Oh, this would be the 4th. Okay, I thought there was one more. But you know what? The people over there keeping track probably know much better than me because my memory's definitely not that good.
Yep. Oh, and another foul given.
I don't often disagree with Kyle Woodworth, but I'm going to disagree with him on this one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty clean on Butts on that.
I thought that was a jump
on that one, but he was right there. He's certainly right at that, that side. We're across the court.
Second game, Bill. That's That's a second game call. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I've done 2 games and I'm a little pooped. Maybe my conditioning's not what it should be.
Kamwine out of bounds. Over to the Hornets. So not to say this one's in the bag, Fred, but as we look forward to tomorrow, boy, that Thunder and Freeze matchup, that's looming large as a pretty fun one.
Yeah, that could be a pretty up and down game and a lot of intensity and skill in that one.
Nice finish there by Franchetto. Back to a 20-point lead with 4 minutes to play. Speedy.
That's a good look.
Yes, rebound, Franchetto. Franchetto right into Speedy with the offensive foul.
Yeah, that's a good call and a really good job by Speedy getting her body in there. staying squared up to the player. You see right here, Bill. Great job there by Speedy.
Oh, look at you picking up the rebounds. You're catching on to this color commentary stuff.
Only took me 2 games, Bill. I figured out that screen was there for a reason.
And again, one more time, thank the sponsors here. Not sure I can do that enough. Medavie Royale, Dairy Farmers, and for the freeze, Max Health, Domino's, TRL Solutions, Michael Carter Design, Valley Graphics, Greystone Brewing, Mom Life's Creations, and Fran Harris Photography. Glad to have you all on board. No shot there, matching offensive foul. Adam Humphreys found his favorite call, I think.
Yeah.
That's a...
Yeah.
That on the replay, that's a tough call, that one.
Yeah, I'm glad that Adam's not being able to see that replay because I think he'd like to maybe do a little do-over on that one.
Yeah, I think if he looks at the replay, I think he would like to have a do-over. I thought in real time it probably was, but seeing that on the replay, not sure.
Yeah, Coach Daly looks like he's going to have a sore neck the way he's shaking his head over there at that call.
Yeah. That would have been a big bucket as well in terms of that would have sort of put this one, I won't say on ice, but certainly would have been very big. And there is Butts on the rebound again. And she's going to dribble one more time out for Speedy. Speedy for McDonald. McAfee steps into a three-pointer. Rebound Enqua. There, she snuck back on the court on me. I didn't see her get subbed in. You see fighting for the rebound, clearly out off of Enqua. Enqua out of Brampton. Shout out if you're watching in Ontario.
Nice hands by Butts. That's a clear path foul.
Yeah, again, that's the second.
Yep, that's a clear path foul.
Second unsporty on Skier.
If that's her second, she actually should be out of the basketball game.
Yep, that's the second.
And depending on league rules, she could be suspended for 1 game. In the ACAA, if that happens,
sure. We may have to get Jen Mackenzie Lloyd on the horn here.
We might have to break out the rule book here, Bill. I don't know what the league rules are on that, but in our league, if you are ejected, it is an automatic 1-game suspension.
So Speedy out. Looks like Robbie Daly back in. McAfee makes from the line. Makes it a 21-point game with 3:01 to go. So 2 in possession is big here as well. You know, 21 is possible. I don't want to say that's sort of puts the game on ice. Offensive foul there.
A lot of off the ball action happening right now. I think the officials are trying to keep it from getting chippy.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be a nice battle between Leah Martin and Katie Butts as well. That's a nice move inside, but rebound to Enqua. That was being Cheney. Now here's Butts on the break with Daly. Katie Butts stops, shoots off glass. Rebound is knocked out by
lost her balance. Yeah, it was a good run out. Good push. I thought she may want to give that up a little sooner to Daly, but again, that's something she's working on in her game, and that's a big improvement that we've seen in her game, of getting out to run out like that and handle it.
That's a big run on the break. They're not going to give the ball up. No way. No way. They didn't get a chance to do that.
The trick, Bill, is to give it up early so you can get it back.
Oh, too much fun being point guard when you're up by 22. You don't get to run the break.
Not sure what this discussion's about here.
Whatever it was, they said no to the table over there, who must have been asking the question. Bianchini to the front court. Guarded by Eve McDonald. There's the quick hands again by McDonald. Timeout, freeze. 2:31 to go. And again, the game's tomorrow here. If I can find my schedule. Windsor at Port City at 11. These Hornets at Moncton at 1. That's going to be a good game as well. Thunder and Fredericton at 3 to wrap up the weekend here in Fredericton. Moving on through the week. Only one game this week, May 18th, leading into the long weekend. That's Thursday in Moncton. The Freeze visit the Hub City to take on the Mystics. Goes at 7 at Harrison Trimble. And the next Thursday, Moncton returns the favor, coming back to Fredericton on the 25th for a 7:30 start at FHS. Friday the 26th, the Thunder and Hornets. Lockhorns at MSVU. 27th, Thunder and Windsor. 28th, Windsor and Hornets. If you're like me and you can't remember that, the mwba.ca/schedule. You get all the schedules there. Your streaming links will be on that site as well. Great addition and great move by the league this year to stick the streaming links right there under schedule. So remember that. Again, I've been privileged to bring you all the games here today. I'll be back tomorrow. And Fred, it's been great having you along here these last couple games today as well.
Well, thanks for having me, Bill. It's a lot of fun, and it's good quality basketball. I enjoy working with you and learning a lot about this whole process with you and kind of seeing it through your eyes.
Yeah, and for sure, if there's anyone out there, particularly, if you're love to grow capacity in this area, male, female, whoever, it would be great to have co-hosts along. So if you're out and it's something you do want to do, certainly any game that I'm involved in, reach out in advance. Let us know, see what we can do to make that happen. Love exposing more people to this part of it as well. Certainly, again, I know there's another area of limited capacity, but for those of us who enjoy doing 100 games a year like me.
In multiple sports.
Yeah, in multiple sports. I even got some hockey in this year, Fred.
Jeez, Bill. I've said many times there must be three of you because every time I go to a gym, you're doing something.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm around. It's a great way to pass time. And this league, I love the ACA stuff because it's a lot of local players. This league is just phenomenal. The talent level here is incredible. The competition is incredible, and the stories are even better. For me, it's the stories that make this league about what these women do, who they are. Didn't get really to talk about it today. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow. The WNBA game in Canada, and just an absolutely fantastic quote and video clip from Bridget Carlton come out of the news conference yesterday. About what it means for the young players to see the possibility of pro and see it in person. And it's the same message from this league to all the young fans that we see here and the Reds that were out in halftime, and Katie Butts, who was talking in the halftime interview about the Reds team, that she knows all the kids and just loves that interaction as well. It's exactly the same here for these women who are out competing and who are moms and professionals and students, and a great mix of people. They're building friendships, they're building community, they're growing the game, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm privileged to be part of it, and I can help grow this aspect of it in any way. Certainly, happy to do so, and happy to be along here for the ride. Daly with the miss there, rebound to Gordon, long look ahead for Perron, tough catch, but good defense there by Robbie Daly as well. Tough to beat Robbie Daly down the court.
She's always fit, and she's ran track, and you're 100% right. You're going to beat her down the floor. You're going to be moving.
Goodman with the catch on the outside was looking for Daly. 1:06 to play here. Freeze have got this one. This may be a first, Fred, where the New Brunswick teams go 2-1 on a day of this tournament style. I'm not sure that happened last weekend. 2 points made there by the Freeze. I think, the New Brunswick teams were lucky to get one win on a weekend oftentimes, and there see Martin on the finish. And 2-1 here for the New Brunswick teams this weekend. See how much they've raised up, their game here in season number 2. 48 seconds to go.
Well, we were saying early on, you watched the New Brunswick teams play each other, and all the games were very, very tight, very close, high caliber. The rosters have been very, very good from all three teams, and I think you're seeing that this weekend. And even the one loss that they had was still a really, really good showing by Port City.
A really good showing by Port City, and that Port City team, they get Baxendale back in the fold, and I think she's going to be here tomorrow. 16.5 points through, I think, her first 3 games in the league is the average. So you add that in, boy, they're they're a tough-looking unit. Andrea Wright with the bouncer through the rim. That gives her half dozen, I think, on this game, and puts the Freeze up to 91 points. That's a pretty good offensive outburst here in this league, 90-some points. And there's Jill Rowe out in front of the pack for the lay-in for 2.
Yeah, that's this is the type of game that Fredericton needed. I think they've been having a little bit of a time struggling to score, and I think they opened things up a little bit, changed a few things, looks like systemically, and it's really paid off today.
Oh, there's a banker in off glass from Bianchini. Oh, sorry, that's not Bianchini, that's Franchetto. That'll be the last scoring in this one. Fredericton 93. So Fredericton wins this third quarter by 1 point. 92-69 Freeze. 21-10, 49-24, 71-49, and 92-69. Freeze really got out front early, and they stayed there.
Yeah, they did a good job of handling a couple of runs by the Hornets, and full credit to them for staying composed and really putting together a very complete game.
So Freeze moved to 2-1. The Hornets dropped to 1-2. Interesting moves here in the standings today. In that one, crowd giving this Freeze team a good ovation. What a show they put on here. We'll stay for player of the game and maybe a post-game interview. We'll see if Ashley gets done presenting the players of the game. You got to think it's Katie Butts and Hannah Brown.
That would be my guesses, Bill. It was a battle of the bigs today. We'll see if that's how it plays out in the eyes of the people who select.
Yeah, and there is Hannah Brown. And if it's not Katie Butts, I will be absolutely shocked. Kylie Speedy gets player of the game. Maybe we're spreading it around because Butts already had one, and the Freeze, they have a little, not little, it's quite a large necklace with Freeze in big bold letters in bright gold. A little bit of bling goes to the Freeze player of the game, and it'll be Kylie Speedy who will inherit it from Katie Butts, who had it last game here. Certainly, I think if you're just picking on the merits of the game, my pick would be Katie Butts, pretty easy. So we'll stay here, see if we get a guest. But Fred, thanks again, and hope to see you back at some of these games in the future. And I'm sure we'll be seeing each other into the fall for sure.
Awesome, thanks so much, Bill. I appreciate you having me.
Stand by here for the post-game guest. All right, we're set here for the post-game interview. Robbie Daly. Robbie, big offensive outburst here for your Freeze team.
Yeah, we our first couple games we were right around the 65 range, so it was a big, but I think it really started on defense. Like, we were getting a lot of stops, so it really transitioned into offense.
Yeah, and you had some big buckets down the stretch. I know Fred Connors and I, who were sitting here, said there's Robbie Daly again with a big bucket. So congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think everyone contributed. Literally everyone contributed on our team tonight in different ways, so it was a good team win.
Yeah, and this is your second year in this league, and I know you play throughout something I didn't get a chance to talk about today. You play in the women's league that the Freeze have going on as well. Talk about how that's helped sort of your game get back into shape and ready for this.
Yeah, definitely. No, we're super lucky here in Fredericton that Brad's put on like leagues throughout the year, because otherwise there wasn't a whole lot going on. So definitely it helps us get back into the flow of things. Like me being out for a number of years now, if it wasn't for that, I don't think it would be as easy of a transition. And
how hard is that after you've been out for a number of years to get back in? I know you've been a phenomenal athlete for your entire life, at least as long as I've known you, sort of multiple sports. But to get back in at this competitive level and dive back in.
Yeah. No, it was definitely it was difficult last year, but I knew a little bit more what to expect this year, like just the level of play and the speed of the game and the strength was a challenge after being out for a bit, but so happy that we have it, and we're lucky.
And you're playing for a pretty familiar face, the bench boss there today.
Yeah. Well, it's actually my first time playing for my dad in my life, so it's exciting and fun.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting as well. So you got another big matchup tomorrow. You take on the Thunder.
Yep.
2-0, a couple big scores there. Kajarini, I think she had a 30-point game today. She is just phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we don't want to end the celebration of this one, but start to look forward to that. How do you think you're going to control her tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be a big part of our game plan there. We know she's a scorer and can score all over the place in different ways, so we're going to have to contain her as best that we can.
All right, I'll let you go celebrate this win, but thanks for stopping by for a few quick questions here to wrap up the day. And again, congratulations on the win, and good luck tomorrow as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thanks, folks. That'll do it here from Fredericton for the end of day one. Come on back tomorrow. Game times 11, 1, and 3. We'll have it right here. The mwba.ca/schedule are your streaming links. For all of us here in Fredericton and the Maritime Women's Basketball Association, I'm Bill Gibson. Pleased to be able to bring this to you, and it's a good thing it's the end of the day because my tongue's getting over my eye teeth and I can't see what I'm saying. See you tomorrow, folks. Go on back then and have a good evening.